The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Cole, DC, UPenn's finest, Chris Culture, CV Culture Boy. We have another great episode for you guys today, coming off the NBA in-season tournament where Chris's Lakers got the win. The first ever NFL Week 14 recap.
Lakers.
Eagles. Here he go. The Eagles. My fault. Bentley's being crazy. The Eagles got stomped. Steelers lose to the Patriots on Thursday night with Danny in attendance. And Chris's Ravens get one of the biggest wins and one of the best games of the year that we'll definitely talk about a little more later.
The Ravens might as well lost. Going to overtime with the Rams, that's 3 losses for all of our teams.
Casual. You just sold yourself, man. You really just sold yourself. The Rams have been like on one lately. They've won like 4 of their last 5 games. You'll be ratting yourself out. It's real disappointing, man.
Well, they're 6 and 7. 6 and 7.
Yeah.
They let the Pittsburgh Steelers beat them. That says a lot about the team, dude.
The Ravens did too.
True. I don't know how.
It was Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens. That's what it was. Oh, I forgot. It was Kenny Pickett to George Pickens. Marlon Humphrey like he wasn't even standing right there. I won't forget that.
I'll give him some slack. It was his first game back.
It was. And I'd rather have Marlon over there on one leg than anybody else.
Yeah, I would too, dude. I mean, Tavon Young, I don't even know if he's still on your team, but you guys need him.
Yo, respect Temple Legend right now.
Temple Legend got mossed by Deion Shaw.
When did that happen?
When did that
happen? Were you at practices?
Stop playing.
Were you at practices?
It's in my brain.
It's in your brain? Yeah.
I'm a vision.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. Let's get into some summits and plummets.
I'm going to do a plummet of the week. And the plummet of the week is a guy that starts with M and last name starts with a T. It's not Michael Thomas. It's Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky is god-awful. He is not an NFL quarterback. He should be cut, sent to on a firing squad. I don't know.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, because Cancun, Chris going on vacation. He going to Cancun with you. He going to the Caribbean with you.
Save him a spot.
We were at the Steelers game, like Tony said. They was getting chants for Mason Rudolph.
Nah, yeah. You know how bad you got to be for Steelers fans to be cheering for that? That's like ridiculous.
That's right there.
Like, I saw a Steelers fan make a video this week. It said, what could have been? It's James Washington and Mason Rudolph. You really got Steelers fans reminiscing about James Washington in the year of 2024.
You know what that means? When a fan base starts reminiscing about the good old days.
That's not even the good old days. That's what.
Those are days. Those are days.
The what could have been days. Like, so
yeah, bro, that's ridiculous.
That's the plumber of the week. The summer of the week, the Steelers maintain a playoff spot by the grace of God, and we got a playoff game basically this week against the Colts.
Well, I mean, the Colts they were red hot, caught an L this week, kind of like the Rams, been like red hot, been picking up steam, lost to a top 3 team in the league. But Steelers lost to the Patriots. It's a little different, but Yeah, I mean, essentially every game from here on out for any team that's in the playoff hunt might as well be a playoff game. You slip up once, you're finding yourself in a completely different situation. Even for the contenders, if the Eagles slip up once, that division is done. Like, you're probably not going to win it, And if you want any chance at home field, then you really can't lose. So it's basically a playoff game. Chris, what's going on?
I'll keep my one summit for later because I'll talk about it a little later. But one summit was seeing my boy Justin Fields do well. Now, I am a Chicago Bears hater. Don't you ever forget that. Like, deep down to my core. Like, I was never even born in the place. I hate the Bears so much. But seeing Justin Fields do well is good because I really don't think the Bears take a quarterback for number 1. And I think this helps their case to kind of not do that. So it was good to see Justin Fields perform pretty well So I was happy to see that. Happy to see Jim Moore make some plays. It was good, a good day to be a Chicago Bear fan, even though I'm not. But it was good to see Justin Fields go out there and perform. So I'll use that for my summit.
Yeah, we'll talk about Justin Fields a little bit more later. But Plummet.
Oh, I got one. It's not even a real plummet. It's like how did that even happen? I saw Wemby do what it looked like, roll his ankle. And I also saw him get right up and sprint down the court as fast as I've ever seen anybody else run. So it's not a summit or a plummet. It's more like what is his feet made of? Are they made of vibranium or what? Because what was that? If you saw it, you know ankle sprains, we're all athletes here. That joint hit the court, rolled over on the court, and the next thing I know, I see Wemby pop up and just play like nothing happened. So that was my what the heck instead of a summit or plummet. I switched it up because I'm still trying to process what I saw.
Well, yeah, we knew this. He's not from here. And that's kind of because we've seen a lot of people just roll ankles and be okay, walk it off.
The shoe tie thing and like tie the shoe tight or do like that.
Yeah.
He didn't even do that. He just popped up.
Yeah, and it's kind of a production of how he's been taking care of his body. Like last year when he was with Metro 92, you saw all the crazy stretches that he was doing, and they weren't for no reason. Like he had to do stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, definitely crazy. Not a plummet. He's obviously fine. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's crazy. Still leading all rookies in points per game. I'm pretty sure he's leading all rookies in everything except assists, and I'm pretty sure he's still top 5 in that. Last time I checked, on averages and totals, or I think just averages, because I think Asar Thompson has the most total rebounds so far.
Yeah, he does.
Ooh, prayer for whatever's going on in Detroit, because my man has basically fallen out of the rotation, which is pretty brutal.
They get ready for Vegas trust.
Yeah. So my I guess my summit this week. I don't even know. Like not to say it wasn't like a bad week, but like it wasn't like a bad
summit.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some good. But it hasn't really been I don't have a plummet either, I guess. Yeah, summit that I guess I could use. Tommy DeVito is pretty cool. Yeah, his story's been pretty dope. His agent looks like he's about to make a deal that you can't refuse. His whole family looks like fresh out of your favorite Jersey pizza shop. That's pretty cool what's going on in New York. Mainly because they're ruining their tank. They're going to be in a weird position where it's like, no, let's give Daniel Jones one more chance. And they're going to draft a lineman and they're going to build around him and the team's going to be awful. So I guess that's pretty cool. Tommy DeVito ruining the Giants tank. I guess if I had a plummet, it would be that Jalen Hurts is probably screwed for MVP unless barring anything crazy going down the stretch. I guess he's still in the thick of the race, but highly doubt it. But again, that's not end of the world. I mean, he was my prediction, but things happen. It's whatever. There's still a couple of guys worthy of MVP in the debate. So yeah, it's not the end all be all. Wasn't a crazy week, crazy good week. Wasn't a crazy bad week, but we can get into the NBA. Chris, your Lakers were in-season tournament champions. Now, there's been a lot of speculation made about, how much will this, how much will like the in-season tournament mean going forward? Because like the Lakers, they're putting up a banner, and a lot of people are like, like y'all really putting up banners for in-season tournaments. Y'all are really popping champagne for in-season tournaments. I just want to hear your thoughts on all of that personally, because in my opinion, it's cool. I think it's cool. So I just want to hear your thoughts on it.
The in-season tournament is such a cool thing. Such a cool thing. So I think it was just a really cool try by the NBA as a whole, just to try to keep the regular season cracking. And I think it did that. It did that. I don't know if the streaming numbers are going to reflect it. Not sure. I haven't really seen much of them, but I know the people who were watching were intrigued, and more intrigued than we would be at an early December game or late November game in time. So I think that was dope by the NBA. Shout out to them. If anybody but LeBron won it, it wouldn't have been this. We've been here already. We know what this is. This is the LeBron tax. This is the Laker tax. This is the same thing. We know what this is. So I'm not even worrying about that because that's just BS. At the end of the day, it proves why Bron is who he is. Like, it was a tweet like Bron up billions at this point almost. He playing for that 500,000 like Zuri don't got a place to sleep at night. That was true. Boy was out there hooping like he was 25 again. So it's just awesome to see like people putting in championship style effort for a game in November or December. I think that was beautiful.
Exactly.
And this game last year, if it was Pacers versus Lakers on that same day, LeBron and AD probably sitting. They're probably going to sit. So it's like
exactly.
That changes. It's been cool.
Exactly. And one thing that Lakers Twitter or Kobe Twitter has been putting out is video of Kobe saying we don't hang conference champions, we don't hang division championship banners, only championships. One, that was before the in-season tournament existed. Two, look me dead in the eyes and say Kobe's not going balls to the wall for $500,000.
Not even for the money.
Here's the thing. Here's our favorite thing. Their in general thing is that Kobe went hard every single regular season game. Okay, now you present Kobe with a regular season game that has $500,000 on the line and a trophy and something. A tournament MVP is on the line. A first team all tournament team. A banner.
If those Kobe fans were real Kobe fans, they would understand and say and just understand this right here. Outside of what you said, because those are all true, it's a game where Kobe can say he's outplayed someone. That's all he wants to do, was be the best player on the court. And you gave him a chance to be a champion at something. Yes, it's an in-season tournament, but he's still the champion of that. He would play his ass off like any other star was. They're just going to. It's not a bubble. It's not any of that. It's literally a game, period.
Exactly. And what and here's another thing. You see, how would have Kobe or MJ or those guys, how would they have dealt with a rising star in Tyrese Halliburton, who's been going nuts in this tournament, coming up, and it's like, well, they're going to take y'all down. This young team in Indiana is going to take y'all down. Oh, if it was MJ and Kobe, it's like, oh, they took it personally, and they approached it with a Mamba mentality, which they 100% should, because this is what we want out of the regular season. We want it to be fun. This is just a prime example of NBA fans don't like anything about their sport.
Literally.
I like that the Lakers are popping champagne midseason. One thing that I kind of put together, and Danny can attest to this as well. I think he would agree. NBA fans would hate the MLB because the MLB, they pop champagne if you win your division because it's a big deal. If you win in the wild card round because it's a big deal. Every round of the playoffs, if you win, you pop champagne because it's a big deal. Everything is a big deal in baseball. But in the NBA, you can't pop champagne if you're in-season tournaments. I like that the Lakers are setting the precedent that, yeah, hang a banner for it, celebrate in the locker room. There's $500,000 on the line. Play serious. This is what we wanted for the in-season tournament to be for real. Dan, did you have a? Yeah, go ahead.
What is the problem with celebrating?
That's what we're trying to figure out. I thought we wanted regular season basketball to be fun.
No, it's not even about that. As a athlete, you beat somebody. Okay, a regular season game, one game. Do you think an NFL team? Do you get mad when an NFL team celebrates beating their rival? Steelers definitely. When the Steelers win, they definitely go in the locker room and turn up. They're turning music on. They're celebrating. But because there's 17 games in the NFL season, it's different because it's rare. But in the NBA and MLB, like, they get shit on for celebrating, basically, because...
Right. And this is new. And it's new settings, Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, we saw what the Raiders did after they won their first game with Antonio Pierce. You got Max Crosby hitting the blunt in the locker room, saying the M-word, and
last night,
him playing basketball gets released.
Will Levis was hugging people like it was the Super Bowl. Like after
last night, oh my God. We need more of that in basketball. We need more people to care. A lot of these Kobe fans are like, oh, y'all celebrating in-season tournament wins with all of this. I'm like, Kobe would die on that regular season court in Memphis on a December night if it meant winning the game, if it meant that he dropped 40 and win the game and he was the best player on the court. Kobe and MJ would die for that. And now that LeBron's doing it in the first ever cool cool December game ever that's not a Christmas game, it's lame. I don't get it, man. I'm not down with it. But yeah, I'll say anything else we want to talk about NBA wise. I kind of wanted to talk about Zion, because honestly, with the initial idea that when we were going to hop on here talking about the in-season tournament teams, is that like, ooh, look at Zion, he looks out of shape and he's big and Stephen A's killing him, until last night, where he drops 36 on Zion efficiency, as I guess if you want to call it that. But yeah, I mean, Chris, just what are your overall thoughts on Zion? Because I mean, he's polarizing by the night and day. So it's like,
Yeah,
what do you make of him?
I'm a big Zion fan, man. I am, and it could be possibly because I'm a big Duke fan. They just rolled over. It is what it is. They got two Dukies over there, Bi and my boy Zion. But I like Zion, and I think Famous Lowe's, he doesn't make a lot of good points, but he made a good point yesterday. If Zion loses too much weight, he loses a lot of what makes Zion Zion. He loses a lot of that bully ball, because it's not like Zion's 6'8". He's not. So if he loses some of that weight, he won't be able to play that power basketball against power players like he can right now. And for the way the team is set up, they need a center of gravity. You got shooters, you got ball handlers, but you don't necessarily have another bucket getter outside of Brandon Ingram. And McCollum can be, if he's more of a point guard now, if he's in this role. You need that type of space, and you need that many people to be around him. And just keep it real. If he's not that big, they're not going to crowd him. Now, like Barkley and Shaq said, they had problems with weight in the early career. That's like Zion's in his 12th year, dog. Zion is in year, 4 or 5? I want to say 5.
5, I think 5.
Like, bro, come on.
Right? He's in playing year 2.5.
Yeah, I would say NBA games wise.
Yeah. And it's like, bro,
he
he's 28, and this is the turning point in his prime. Like, if he doesn't get it together tomorrow, it's over. Like, bro, like he can figure it out. But even if he doesn't, if this is what fat Zion gives you, if that's what they want to call it, 25 and 8 on 6% I'm cool with Zion being fat. I'm cool.
Yo, Bam Adebayo is 3 years older than Zion. Put that in perspective still.
First of all, that just means that Bam is young as hell and he's like the 3rd or 4th best center in basketball.
Yeah.
It's not. But that also proves like Z is young. Like Bam's young and Z is still young. Like he's gonna figure it out. One thing why I didn't want to really overreact is because the Lakers, they're too smart. They be licking their chops with players like Zion, with guys who don't got jumpers, who don't got a jump shot. You don't even got to bother bringing AD out on the perimeter. AD's going to rim protect, and you're going to get essentially no success in the restricted area. Before
you get to the restricted area, now you have
like
Vando back. So now you have
exactly. So not only when the Lakers are looking with teams like the Bucks and teams like the Pelicans, and even guys like the Kings, even though the Kings can, they can get out running gun a little differently, but Zion's not, and he's probably not gonna have a good game against the Lakers because of the way they're gonna play defense on him. First of all, they're gonna throw Vando at him if he's not guarding Brandon Ingram, and even once he finally gets past that perimeter defender, he has to then face Anthony Davis at the rim, who is a top 2 rim protector in the NBA at this moment, probably only second behind Rudy Gobert, who's having like a career year, and that's saying something for Rudy Gobert. I didn't want to overreact to that. Is he fat? Maybe a little bit. Does he still have a 40-inch vert? Yes. Is he still like a top 3 strongest dude in the league? Yeah. Does he still have good handles for someone who's 300 pounds? Yeah. He's going to be fine. Even if he never changes, he's a walking 27-6 for the rest of his career.
Why did someone call Zion a 6'6" Ben Simmons with no jumper?
No, that's actually crazy. At least Ben had playmaking, though.
Yeah, that's actually such a lazy cop. So lazy.
I don't know. It's like that, but like he's like Draymond almost, but Draymond almost has too much playmaking. He's like a chubby version of both of them.
You know what Zion is? Zion is
like
Charles Barkley with social media. That's what he is.
Charles Barkley.
Bro, Charles Barkley said it best. He is Shaq and Charles if they had a baby.
Legitimately, bro. Because at the end of the day, he lives a little overweight, but he's so powerful, bro. As he's 6'5.5". That's what he measured at. They haven't listed 6'7". That's just a lie. For him to play the way he played, he actually starts at power forward with Valanciunas, who does not protect the rim. He can rebound. He's not going to block any shots. So now it makes Zion look even smaller on defense because now he has to go do a lot of the defensive things that he just doesn't do.
They need the boy that they shipped up to Memphis.
Who they ship up? Steven Adams?
Steven Adams. They need Steven Adams to help that team a lot right now.
You know where I think about a lot with undersized power forwards? 10 times out of 10, you want them to at least be Zion. A super athletic guy who can still rebound, can still, and can score at will. Can't shoot, though. Because think of a guy named LiAngelo Ball, who is a 6'6" power forward who can't defend nobody, just like Zion, and is supposed to be a shooter who really isn't a shooter. Can't put the ball on the deck and get to the rim at will. So, yes, for undersized power forward, you want him to be like Zion. Zion can still be special. He still is special because who else is 300 pounds and can do this?
Undersized.
Would you rather have
either Zion or PJ Tucker? Pick your choice.
Yeah, would you rather have?
And they're gonna go Zion 10 times out of 10.
Zion or Julius Randle right now? Which one would you rather have?
Zion.
I'm a general manager, or just who's playing better right now?
Skill set. You don't. Well, it's not about like
skill set.
Zion, because I shot selection is in your skill set. It's in
fair. Then yeah, good point. I would take Zion because I would say like Julius Randle has a very good skill set. He just shares him and Jaylen Brown just share one brain.
And he shares the side of court with Brunson and fucking RJ Barrett. They both can only go left.
Don't forget,
if Brunson was a righty, that'd move mountains for both of them.
Don't forget he's on the team with Josh Hart as well.
Josh Hart, bro, no brains, all hard out there, man. I love him. And apparently he bets. Like, why? Why do you do that? I like that players are open about it too. That like they now know the real rules of everything that's going on.
Hell yeah, why not?
Yeah, we can move on to week 14 in the NBA. It was good talking about Zion's eating issues and
his porn addiction. But
yeah,
anyway.
But yeah, go ahead. I guess we can
week
talk
14, about a Thursday night football game didn't happen. So
no, it happened. No, it
definitely happened.
You can only say that if your team is good and it's an anomaly.
Dread it, run from it. You can't avoid it. Mike Tomlin, I believe, has 3 wins all time in his 16 seasons against Bill Belichick. It's his father. The way the Celtics own the Sixers, Bill Belichick, a Boston team, he owns a Pittsburgh team. So you can't stop him. There's been years where the Steelers have had chances, Jesse James catch, and then they just shit the bed. So Bill Belichick just owns Mike Tomlin. Bailey Zapp had 3 touchdowns. That says enough about the game.
I don't think it has to do anything with Mike Tomlin. I think it is the fact that the Steelers' offense is bad. It's very bad. It's a winnable game. This offense bad.
Yeah, I mean,
failure to take the quarterback position seriously bad.
You're gonna let the Patriots score 21 points. They also let 0 points up in the second half. They came back into reality.
Exactly. So Mike Tomlin, enhanced as a defensive coordinator, did his job. Now I guess you could blame him for the offense's incapability of adjusting, but yeah, I don't know.
Dude, George Pickens does not look like he wants to play football. He is like AB with like no talent though.
See, that is a diva. Like I don't call it like I'm so pro player. That is a distraction.
He's not trying. Like Deontay didn't see the ball fumble, whatever. He literally is not trying when he's not getting the ball. I swear to God, I've never seen someone do this. He came out of the huddle. I knew it was a run play because he like threw his hands up in the air.
He wasn't getting the ball. Tomlin said it's a distraction. And even Minka said like guys they think that they can just not put in work and then come in and just do everything. There's a reason. Look, Pickens has all the talent in the world. There's a reason he wasn't regarded as a top 5 receiver in his class. It had nothing to do with his skill set.
So, it's because he punched someone in a fucking game at Georgia.
Yes, he did. And that went on a highlight reel because people thought it was cool. But what I really wanted to get into was the thick of this episode and what it's titled is Dak running away with the MVP.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I wanted to know what we were thinking. Because I mean, right now, my case for Dak being the MVP, I think of the other two, at least candidates in the NFC, Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. I think offensive wise, I think he does have the least amount of help. He's putting up amazing numbers. The streak he is on since that Niners game is like, it's remarkable. Like, it truly is. And I don't know. I mean, even in this last Eagles game, like, he played like an okay game, but he wasn't perfect. But and he said it in his press conference. He was like, if I was on one, we could have dropped 50. That's 100% correct. I just think what Dak has done in the past couple weeks, the level of precision he's playing with, and the thing where him and Jalen kind of swapped from this year to last year, he's taking care of the ball extremely well, which is very important in the MVP discussion. Now, is he running away with it? I do still think there are guys who can catch up, and Chris personally has one. Chris, I call you to the stand to defend Lamar Jackson for MVP.
Not Brock Purdy. I mean, that the Niners do play the Ravens in a week or two.
And we're going to show you.
And that's another thing. That's another thing. For some reason, head-to-head quarterback matchups matter so much for some reason. But, yeah, go ahead.
If that was the case in the NBA, Embiid would have just ran away with an MVP last year.
Off that Jokic game,
off that Jokic game.
We don't talk about this game enough.
As far as the Ravens go with MVP, like I was saying before we started, bro, if they can go through this next 3-game stretch unscathed, even 2-1, I consider it, because that's a tough stretch. I mean, the Dolphins may look like it may not be as tough with their loss yesterday, but I think that's the case though, because I think losing your number one target, and Mark Andrews is so huge because we got Odell, we added Zay Flowers, we added some pieces for sure, but they were all not complimentary pieces but to an extent they were to complement what Mark Andrews already gives us. So it's like him being able to deal with that these last couple of games, and I think he's increased his play. I really do. And then you have other people step up, you do, but I think it all centers around 8. So if he's not playing as well as he is, like if like we saw what happens when he's not there. We see. So I think him being a part of what they have going on right now, him elevating the play of some of these receivers, like I thought Odell would have a good year, but he's been playing really well these last 2 or 3 games for sure. And I think that's been better on ball placement by Lamar, even though he said he ran around the touchdown. I think it's just Lamar's been a better pocket passer and a better on the move passer, not just passing because he's on the move. And I think just those steps he made, I think he's playing better than he played in his MVP season that he already has. And I think, just stats won't show it, but I think all around he's been better. So, like I said, they can go through this stretch 2-1 or 3-0. I think he could have a good chance.
Isaiah Likely is balling for you guys. I really, really like Likely. I think he should have got more targets when Andrews was still healthy. But I really like that. I want to make a case for somebody else for MVP that I really, really understood last night. The Miami Dolphins are a different team when Tyreek Hill is not on the field. When he doesn't play, they just aren't the same team. They can't stretch the field. You can say, Waddle's this speedster. Tyreek Hill adds a different element of speed to the game, and he's on pace for 2,000 yards for a reason. He hurt the ankle, and he didn't have the same speed that he usually does. And you saw ultimately down the stretch, they lost because they stalled out. They're the first team ever to be up with 14 with 5 minutes left and lose the game in regular time.
It was the first team since 2016 to be up by 14 under, I think, 4 minutes and blow the lead, which is part of Miami's defense, which has always been a little skeptical. I do like your point. I have been a big Tyreek advocate for MVP. In a weak year of MVP, you ever want to give it to a receiver, this year would be the year. Where I would present you with a proposition is that I think Tua and this Miami team could make the playoffs without him. Now, mind you, running backs would have to be helped. Like, you need A-Chain and Mostert 100%. You need Jalen Waddle to be 100% and being at like full potential. How can he be as a wide receiver 1? Absolutely. And Hill still has a really good case. I think if you were to take Lamar off of Baltimore, replace Hill with a good wide receiver, replace Baltimore with a good quarterback, I don't think the Ravens sniff the playoffs. I think what
You know
Lamar's
the
doing
real
really well.
MVP? The real
Joe
MVP for
Flacco.
the Ravens is Denard Wilson. Ex-Eagles
Oh,
defensive back coach.
yes. Miss him very
So
bad.
last year, the Eagles were first in yards per game allowed from their DBs. This year, the Ravens are top 5 in yards per game allowed by their DBs.
And we don't even have
And
real cornerbacks back there. So
you
shout out to
don't.
Denard Wilson.
Denard Wilson has done masterful job with the Ravens, and I think it all starts with Kyle Hamilton.
And Geno Stone, I think he's done a good job with Geno too, like helping him out. I think Geno always had the potential to make plays and do that, but like he's actually, he hasn't done it in a couple games, but he's been making plays this year. And then Kyle Hamilton's just a beast, like you were saying. Kyle Hamilton's he's just different.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he suffered an MCL sprain. But yeah, back to what I was saying with Lamar, is that he's brought the best out of a clearly outside his prime Odell Beckham. He's brought the best out of Nelson Aguilar since the 2017 season. He's brought the best out of Zay Flowers as a rookie. And, not to say Zay couldn't do this elsewhere, but, it's a big help when you have an elite quarterback like Lamar Jackson.
For sure.
Who aired it out in the rain in a very muddy Baltimore that day. So,
for sure. Lamar was hooping nonetheless. But I feel like we haven't really given the love to Dak Prescott as to give him his case why he is the MVP of the league.
I did give my case. What the fuck are you talking about?
I said we all haven't.
You just presented your case for Tyreek. That was the point. We all just gave 3 different cases.
3 different cases. I really want to comment back on Dak Prescott because
Go ahead, then.
There's a guy named Jake Ferguson who's now elevated to arguably a top 5 tight end in the league. It's definitely a conversation because what he does.
He's top 5.
He looks like a Mark Andrews clone.
Yeah, and he's got the swag. And he's got the swag with him, man. Dak has turned Jake Ferguson into at least top 10 tight end, and that's another thing. He's elevating guys.
What the Cowboys do every year? They draft, dude. They get rid of the tight end and they draft a tight end that's really, really good. I don't get it. It's like the Steelers wide receivers.
Jake Ferguson, I think, was on the team last year, and I was kind of leaning more towards him than Dalton Schultz last year. I'm glad because nobody throws a prettier seam ball than Dak Prescott, and Jake Ferguson, he seems to love it. And against every single team in the league, it seems to be open besides the Niners because Fred Warner is basically a safety in there. But yeah, I mean, Dak, Lamar, Tyreek, they all elevate the guys around them. Is anybody running away with MVP? I think Tyreek's case it's kind of tough because, receivers are never going to get their love. Lamar, like Chris said before the show, I mean, like they have such a stretch coming up. The Ravens go 3-0 in that stretch. They got it.
Yeah, I think right now Dak got it.
Now.
I think Dak has it in the palm of his hand because they beat the Eagles, and it wasn't necessarily like a super close one. So I think that's going to gas a lot of the voting too because I mean he's already was playing at elite level. Aside from my head, he's already playing elite level. So I think that for right now, if like an MVP stop today, I think it's Dak's today.
Yeah. May I present you one more person that has an MVP case?
Can I guess?
Take a guess.
Me too.
Is it AFC or NFC?
He's in the AFC.
Josh Allen?
Certainly is Josh Allen. His next 4 games.
I know you so well, man.
Could run the table. He got the Bills, the Chargers, who are unraveling, the Patriots, and the Dolphins. 2 of those games are easier side. They're divisional, but like still easier side. And 2 of those games are rough. If you go 3-1, they're 7. They're what? 7-6 right now. You go 3-1, 10-7 should get you a playoff spot in the AFC, and they have the 4th highest point differential in the NFL. They've lost close games. They are a really, really tough team, and if they backdoor a playoff spot, if I'm the Chiefs, if I'm the Dolphins, I don't want to see them coming into your place at home.
I
so
present
if Josh
to
Allen
you
can run this table. Good luck.
I present to you a scenario. So, what'd you say the Bills are 7-6?
7-6. They got Cowboys, Chargers, Bills, the Patriots, and the Dolphins.
Okay, they go 4-0, or they go 3-0 before seeing Miami in Week 18, and whoa, my bad. And then the Dolphins, they go. Who do they play next?
Jets,
the
Cowboys,
Jets.
Ravens.
They could very lose those Cowboys and Ravens games.
Yep.
The Bills, they could probably afford to lose that Cowboys game. Week 18, just like that, is for the division. We were talking. This Bills team was 6-6, down and out, injured. Losing all these close games, and you beat the Chiefs. You beat the head honcho in the AFC. And now you have a chance to go win the division against a Miami team that it just seemed like they were going to win the AFC East, because they were going to take care of all their easy games. Now they lose to the Titans. Things shift. Things change. I think it's a really good story. And now I want to give Danny and me credit in the sense that now they can max win 11 games. Danny said that was their ceiling. I said that was their floor. So in a way, we'd both be right. But I don't know. I just think it's very interesting. The Bills, I don't know, just build off this. You needed this one. You got it. Yeah. I mean, you backdoor it. Look, like we said earlier, no one's running away with it. Josh Allen runs the table, puts up insane numbers, which I think he's going to have to. Why not? Why not? In a year where, usually at this point, you got, 2 or 3 candidates, but, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the only
Possible.
downside to picking Josh Allen, he has had an interception in every game since October 8th.
I mean, it's going to happen. I will never get on him for the interceptions because he still leads an amazing offense. I'm never going to dog him for that.
Yeah, because think about this. Josh Allen, he has all those interceptions, right? He has 25 touchdowns, which is in the top, I'm going to guess top 5 in the league. It's up there.
Yeah, he I think he's probably second or third in turnovers this year, or first maybe, whatever.
And then his rushing stats this year, he has 10 rushing touchdowns and 374 yards.
Yeah, he's probably not the leading rusher for the team this year because James Cook has surprisingly been good. Didn't know that.
When you turn into 35 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, that's not that bad.
Oh, not at all. And I love guys like I said this before, guys like him, Lamar, Jalen. You got to use total touchdowns, total turnovers, and what what Josh Allen brings to the game in terms of putting the ball in the end zone, getting the ball in the end zone somehow. Turn the ball over as much as you want because this team's not going to help you. He's got to go do it on your own. It's fine. Turn the ball over. And that was kind of the same thing with Dak last year. Was he was turning the ball over a lot. One, a lot of those there isn't a stat line for this, but a lot of those really weren't his fault. And second, it's kind of he had to do something. His run game was not good, and same rules apply for Josh Allen for his entire career. To be quite honest,
yeah.
I like that as a dark horse candidate at this point in the year.
Last year, Josh Allen had 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Not 35 total. He had on the ground. He had 7. So he had 42 total and 14 interceptions, and he finished 3rd in the MVP race. Yeah. This year, he is on pace he has 35 touchdowns right now. With
35 total touchdowns.
35 total right now. That means he would need 7 touchdowns in 4 weeks, which is
in a 4-week span. In a 4-week span. If he is to go absolutely nuclear, if he finishes with 50 total touchdowns, you think he's the MVP?
I think he's my MVP.
And Bills go 4-0.
Because if you took Josh Allen off this Bills team, he means a lot more than Dak Prescott.
No. In terms of actual value, Josh Allen's the MVP. This team isn't a damn thing without him.
Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. Because Gabe Davis, mid,
but big game Gabe, I guess.
Dalton Kincaid is very good, though. Be on the lookout because he might have a shoulder injury, but Dalton Kincaid come playoff time will be Travis Kelce.
He could be huge. I had him on a fantasy team. I've been peeping. I've been tuned in. And Dawson Knox is getting healthy, so you're going to have both your tight ends available. They could get something going. And I can't think of the first name, but that Khalil
Shakir.
Khalil Shakir, baller. Now, I don't know wide receiver 2 baller, but baller. Something to work with there, I would say. But we can go on. We can preview week 15. We talked a lot about the MVP race and what's going on. Well, I guess this is week 15 preview, but it's more so. Here's what I want to ask you guys. I have a couple quarterbacks that this was kind of their tryout year. I'm going to give a quarterback. Each of you guys are going to tell me what is going to be their situation next year. We can start with Justin Fields and we can start with Chris. Do you think he's played well enough to be Chicago's quarterback for the future? Do you think he's been good, but not good enough to, override Caleb Williams, so he's probably going to be elsewhere? Just what do you think?
I personally think that they're going to move him. I wouldn't, but I think the Bears are going to, because I think the hype surrounding Caleb Williams has been too much as far as for if Justin Fields come back next year and have a bad year for the front office to be like, oh, well, you guys could have drafted Caleb Williams and you didn't. So I think they're going to move him. My hope is that he get moved to Pittsburgh, Atlanta. I've been saying Atlanta since we started. Atlanta or the Jets. That would be my hope. But I think Rodgers come back next year, so I doubt the Jets. But I'd say those two teams. But I think he's in another jersey next year.
You know
what do you think is
Zach Wilson?
Boy, you don't want that, man.
What I think he is, honestly? What I think he ends up?
No, he's not, man. No, he's not. Zach Wilson is not better than Kenny Pickett, man. He's not. And to be quick, why would you say that? Why would you say that? There's not a starting quarterback in the NFL that Zach Wilson's better than. That's my thing. He moves the ball as if you have a backup who should not be in the NFL. He had this good game against a Texans defense that's kind of just let anybody get what they want. It hasn't been great per se. So, no, I wouldn't believe that. But where do you think, Danny, what do you think is Justin Fields' future?
No, I'm right with Chris. I think Pittsburgh, Atlanta. Interesting spot is Seattle.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, they haven't. Yeah, I'll say they never ended up drafting a backup rookie quarterback. So yeah, that could be a good spot. Raise him up with DK and JSN. Oh, he'd probably love to play with JSN.
Exactly.
Which I don't know how much they really overlapped, but yeah.
I think JSN got there right after Fields left, maybe, right?
I think he started getting real tick.
Right, that's what I mean, yeah.
Something like that. I think so. I honestly don't know.
I got a sleeper pick too.
Ohio State's so stacked.
Outside of Atlanta, now, call me crazy, but the Rams. I
was thinking that.
I don't know how much they're believing in Matt Stafford, but if not, I would see them giving Justin Fields a try. I think Justin Fields has a lot of talent. Outside of obviously everybody who watches it knows, I think Justin Fields has a lot of talent. I think putting him in an offense that's talented, or put him with the offensive coordinator that's talented, I think he can make a lot of money. So
yeah, I would say you give McVay Justin Fields, bro. He's gonna display his fantasies on the field, and not even that. Stafford's been balling this year, 100%. He's old and he gets injured sometimes. Why not have Justin Fields as a backup? Stafford might retire in a year or two. Bam, and then you put Justin Fields onto the scene. I don't know if Justin Fields, as a year 3 quarterback, if you want to do that, want to make him wait until year 5 to really start, but
Bears would never do this, but Justin Fields on the Detroit Lions would do wonders.
I was thinking about that. Let's move on. Let's talk about Jared Goff. What is his future? Because he's an expiring contract. He's good, not great. Borderline top 10, 12-ish. Has the Lions in a good spot. But, they're clearly not contenders. And quarterback is clearly one of the weak points on the team. If you had to ask me. I don't want to say weak points. No, it's a strong point, but like there's a ceiling when Jared Goff is your quarterback. So, Danny, what do you think is Jared Goff's future, or at least the future of the quarterback position in Detroit? Do you think they hand it over to Hendon Hooker? Do they send the Godfather deal for a guy like Herbert? I don't know, but
I don't think Detroit moves on. I think their offense is kind of built around him just being like a point guard, honestly.
But can that win you a Super Bowl?
It got the Rams to the Super Bowl.
The Rams also had Sean McVay, and they had Cooper Kupp, and they had Odell, who was gonna win a Super Bowl MVP before he got hurt. And then you had.
I've never seen
Aaron
the
Donald.
Ravens were throwing 3 O linemen at Aaron Donald. I've never seen that.
You got to do what's got to be done, man.
I was just going to do 4. Throw another person out there. Dude is an animal. What was he even up?
Like it's in a guy who's considering retirement every offseason is still the best defensive tackle, if not top 3 defensive tackle in the NFL. Next guy I want to present a case for, Jordan Love. What do you think is going to happen with him? Did he earn another year with the Packers?
Well, I didn't get to say what I think Jared Goff is going to be.
Oh, go ahead.
Unfortunately, Danny, Jared Goff will be a Pittsburgh Steeler because your franchise is serious and y'all got a little bit of talent over there. And I think you're going to try to maximize the Jared Goff for 2 years. Remember I said this, Jared Goff's a Pittsburgh Steeler.
We're gonna big Kirko. Chill.
Or Kirk Cousins. One of those two. I'm with you. And who did Tone ask about? I'm so hyped to talk about Jared Goff. I
don't know. I forget.
Yeah, I said it. But yeah, I think Jared Goff is in Pittsburgh. Him or Kirk Cousins, I see it. Or I see him in Minnesota. One of the two. I think he's on one of those teams.
Yeah.
My fault. I had to grab Bentley. No, I asked about Jordan Love. I was wondering, did you guys think, did he earn another year as a Packers starter?
I hope so. I think he's been playing pretty good. And I think also, too, it's not like he has like a merry-go-round of talent around him. They're not like, not talented, but they're not like.
Yeah, they're young.
Chiefs, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce talented. So I think Jordan Love is doing really well. I wasn't a fan of Jordan Love before. I thought he was just like a product of being behind Aaron Rodgers. I think that kid's good. And I think they'd be a fool to give up on him or try to go draft. Unless you can get Caleb Williams, because he seems to be literally Michael Jordan, LeBron, and Wendy put together for a prospect. So unless you can get Caleb Williams, cool. But if not, I let Jordan Love roll.
My hot take, Trevor Lawrence was a better prospect than Caleb Williams.
That's not hot at all.
No, but I mean,
you say hot take and then say something that's normal.
It's not though, but like all these analysts are talking about Caleb Williams like he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. They're like, oh, he's the best prospect since Andrew Luck back in 2012. No,
well, that's
Trevor Lawrence is.
That's kind of. I mean, it's still not a hot take to say Lawrence. Lawrence was like, you know how insane you got to be for your pro comp to be Peyton Manning, like.
He literally, that's my point. He literally was being pro comped as a Hall of Famer.
They pro comped him to Pat Mahomes, Caleb Williams. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's a little. It's because they got the same sidearm throws, and they're both.
It's not that really. It's the overall out of structure ability. Like, yeah, they both make the flashy plays, but it's really just the out of structure things that they can do.
Zach Wilson made them out of structure throws at BYU.
Don't even start. Zach Wilson has bad college film.
Zach Wilson, pro day.
I'll die on that hill. Zach Wilson is not. He was never good. Like never. He was my
pro day.
Pro day
was my quarter. He tricked me.
Huh?
He tricked me on his pro day.
His pro day was legit.
He tricked me.
You know
how do y'all get tricked on a pro day? Who gets tricked on a pro day? Y'all know Derek Carr? Did y'all know Derek Carr completed 46 straight passes on a pro day? Like, who gets tricked on a pro day, man? Did y'all know every single workout session, me, Danny, and CJ finish? CJ wants to finish with that Zach Wilson throw. That throw tricks everybody, man. That throw tricks y'all.
That's the one that tricked me.
I could do that throw on air. It might be 10 less yards, but I could do it. Like,
mine might be 30 less yards.
He tricked y'all. But yeah, I think, back to Jordan Love, who is what we were talking about. Yeah, I definitely think he's earned another year. You can't really bench a guy for 3 years, start him, and then be like, yeah, no, we're done with you. So I'm pretty sure they picked up his 5th-year option. So, yeah. And then What do y'all think goes down at the quarterback position in New York? This will be the last one before we actually talk about a couple games real quick.
Unfortunately, I think Daniel Jones will be back. And and like I said, Duke fan right here. Football and basketball, I don't care. Daniel Jones is not good. He's just not good. He's not good. He's not terrible.
He's not $40 million. So
He like $12 million annually good. Like he's solid. But I'm not paying him to be the New York Football Giants quarterback. No, thank you. They're wasting Saquon's time. They're wasting his time. And if I'm them, I try to get a quarterback if I can, or even try to get Justin Fields. Do something. But Daniel Jones isn't the guy. I don't think he's the guy. But I think he's gonna be there if they paid him. So I don't know what they're gonna do with it.
I think it'll be difficult to offload that contract.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. I cannot sit here and say I watch the Giants closely enough because most of the times when a backup quarterback comes in and the team start winning, they probably just operate things differently for the most part. Why have they won 3 straight games with Danny DeVito at quarterback? I said Danny DeVito. Tommy DeVito at quarterback. Same thing. A Soprano at quarterback. Why have they won 3 straight and they can't do that with Daniel Jones? What is different? Are they calling up different plays so that the quarterback purposely gets the ball out of their hands faster? Does Daniel Jones just hold on to the ball too long? Are receivers? Because, I mean, these wide receiver options, they look good now. Wan'Dale Robinson played pretty good yesterday. Isaiah Hodgins had a real good catch in the end zone yesterday. I mean, there's one. Jalen Hyatt balling. Like I don't know what's going on over there. I can't sit here and say off of 3 amazing, not amazing. In the last 3 games, Danny DeVito, I was about to say it again. Tommy DeVito in his last 3 games, 596 yards. I think 5 touchdown passes, no picks. I can't say that, that's enough to win him the quarterback job like next year, but he'll be around. He'll be around, Daniel Jones. And if you don't want to play well, as an Italian mob, a mafia boss would say, I know a guy. They always know a guy. So, yeah. Well, but let's actually talk about some games real quick before we get into.
I have one game to talk about. It's
go ahead, man.
6 and 7 Tampa Bay Bucks versus 6 and 7 Packers. I'll be quick with it. This is for playoff lives. The Bucks playing for the division, but hey, Jordan Love bears Baker Mayfield, number 1 overall pick versus first round pick. I mean, end of the first, but still, show what you got. I mean, they're both pretty mid teams. Not going to do much in the playoffs if they make it, but
yeah, I think you said it best. I mean, like, yeah, you're mediocre, but let's think about this. You're Baker Mayfield. You're fighting for another year, or his contract might be 2 years already. But
I'm not gonna lie, for being week 15 of the NFL season, this schedule is weak. This is pretty weak.
I think it's because it's kind of split up into 2 days. That could be a big piece of it. This kind of. I mean, the Monday night game is kind of fine. 10-3 Eagles, 6 and 7 Seahawks, 2 teams that just got obliterated by their rivals. So, yeah, I don't know. There isn't really. Yeah, you're right. I mean, like these games aren't like crazy anything to write home about.
I mean, I mentioned the Steelers Colts. That's like similar to the Packers and the Bucks.
Okay. So here's 2 games we got to talk about real quick. First one being Cowboys Bills. You have the Cowboys who, if they want any shot at this 1 seed of the division, they got to win out. And then you have the Bills who want any shot at the division, you got to win out. So, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that game?
I think the Cowboys drop it. And the only reason I say that, it's not even on some like they just beat the Eagles, they're on the high. I think the Bills are just a little more hungry, a little more thirsty, and not because the Cowboys think they got the division in the choke or anything like that. I just think the Bills are a better team than, like y'all said, like they're just a better team than what they've shown. So I think the Bills come out and find a way to win.
Yo, Josh Allen is so serious against great teams. Let's look at it. Against the Eagles, he had 34 points. Against the Chiefs, 20 points. I believe the game-winning drive, right? Right, a couple minutes left in the game. Against the Patriots, he dropped the game, right? Against the Giants, he almost lost the game. Against the Dolphins, 48 points.
Yeah, when his team needs it, he locks in. And
I mean, it's going to come down to it. It's Stephon Diggs and his little brother not there. His little brother not there to guard him. He gonna sun him. You got to sun his little brother's
if he
team.
has Deron Bland on him all night, it's going to be a long night.
Dude,
So
Deron Bland is no better than Manuel Forbes.
I will say this though. While I do see Chris's point about the Bills just being hungry or just wanting it more, I think the Bills' highs as an offense, I think they can reach to about where the Cowboys are, if not maybe a little bit higher, just because of who Josh Allen is. But I will say this
for sure.
I wouldn't say higher for sure. Not this year, no. But the Cowboys are going to shred that defense into a million pieces. So I don't necessarily know how it will end. Like the Cowboys are going to tear them to shreds. The Bills will probably tear them to shreds. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I think this is going to be the one loss that the Bills can afford for a chance at the division or a chance at a playoff spot. But yeah, I mean, this is game of the week to me, at least.
Hell yeah, it's a
good
game of the week.
I'll raise you one.
Raise this one because I think we're on the same page about a contender for game of the week.
Yeah, and that was the game I wanted to talk about, of course.
Yep.
My Ravens versus the Prince that was promised, of course. I think it's just a big ass game. It's just a big game for so many.
It's a
reasons.
huge game.
So lit, and as I said, this will start my Lamar MVP campaign. If he could beat the Prince that was promised, I mean, you're taking down a signature character like the Prince that was promised on your way to go 3-0 on that gauntlet we were talking about. I think this is a big game. I think both teams are going to be locked in. I think it's a big game for the Ravens defense too, because the Ravens, I mean, the Jaguars are one of those offenses that can be good, but you can kind of bully them a little bit. And I think Ravens need to do a little bit of that if we gonna want to come out of this victorious. But I also see Lamar carving up their defense a little bit too. So I'm excited to see like which side wins out. I know Trevor Lawrence is going to play a good game. I got faith in that dude. So yeah, that's my game of the week this week. I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, I see the Ravens winning this one. I think the Jaguars offense, I don't trust their consistency. They kind of just really played a bad game against the Browns. Their defense got torn to shreds by Joe Flacco, of all people. I think, the Ravens, this is going to be like the start of Lamar's final MVP campaign push. I'm going to go Ravens in this one. So in the two big games of the week, I got Cowboys and Ravens. Yeah, Ravens, I think their defense is – yeah. And Tyson Campbell, I don't know if he's going to play or not. Even if he is, he's been semi-disappointing this year. I think Lamar will be able to find a way to work. Keep improving on Isaiah Likely's game. Keep getting the most you can out of Odell, who I believe has actually been the highest graded receiver the past 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. PFF grade. But
Odell 2 touchdown catches incoming.
Pretty crazy. It could happen. I don't see why not. I mean, and of course,
23.
Yeah. And it's a shame because I mean, this offense, the offense for Jacksonville has just not found its consistency, and it's supposed to be, Lawrence is supposed to be MVP level guy, and Calvin Ridley was supposed to be that AJ Brown or Stephon Diggs type of guy for Lawrence. But I think where we got ahead of ourselves is that one, Lawrence never really needed that. He was a little bit better than Hurts and Allen at the end of year 2. He was just making it work with Christian Kirk as wide receiver 1. Everything was okay. So,
and y'all didn't know that he was getting a Kelsey instead of a wide receiver 1. He was getting Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram, nice with it.
Yes,
he's got all the tools to be a dynamic tight end. It's all a matter of just catching that rock, man.
Sound like Kyle Pitts, huh?
It's all Kyle Pitts is all about getting him that ball first. But we can move on to Hots and Locks.
Speaking of Kyle Pitts, that's my lock of the week. I think that
Kyle Pitts is the lock.
The Falcons beat the Panthers. The Panthers have been pretty abysmal. It's not even Bryce Young's fault. They thrown to nobody. Adam Thielen has fallen back to reality. What he really is at the age of 31. He might be 33. I don't know how old he is. He's in his 30s.
Yeah, he old and he got a 3-year nice contract. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
He tricked us.
So the Panthers, unserious football team right now. They don't even have their first round pick. Their first round pick belongs to Caleb Williams and the Bears. So Yeah, I'm gonna lock in the Atlanta Falcons, and the hot of the week is that the Bears beat the Browns.
Okay, I like that. I was
I think
considering that one.
everyone's like, Joe Flacco's been riding the high. He's comeback player. Come on, dude. Look,
Who said he was comeback player of the year? That's not a troll.
I've heard it. I've heard it on Twitter.
That wasn't a troll. Somebody that wasn't a troll.
Someone said Joe Flacco deserves it more than Tua.
Twitter's a real place, man.
Nah, Tua should actually be the comeback player of the year, in my opinion. But
Chris knows Twitter is a real place. Like that's definitely a Twitter thing, right? No.
Yeah, definitely happened. Definitely did.
So yeah, I think yo, my hot take is if the Bears beat the Browns this week, they could backdoor a playoff spot. Tell me why not.
Cook. If they didn't blow the Lions and Broncos game, they're looking at like they're 7-6 right now.
All right.
If they didn't blow those games.
If the Bears beat the Browns, are they losing to the Falcons? Are they losing to the Cardinals?
Probably not. Probably not.
It's a trap game, it feels like. But and then you know what that sets up for? Week 18 in Green Bay for a playoff spot.
That'd be lit.
That'd be crazy.
Fields versus Love for a playoff spot. I'm down.
That's what I'm saying, dude. The schedule makers, or as people might call the script writers, cooked up.
Yeah. Okay, just wanted to go over the hots and locks last week before Chris goes. My lock hit 49ers. Chris's lock hit with the Bears. Danny's lock did not because he locked the Steelers. You never lock your favorite team. Don't do that. Hot takes. Mine didn't hit. Chris's did not hit. Well, I had the Panthers. Chris picked the Seahawks. Didn't hit. Danny's hit, though. He picked the Bengals. So everything is just reverse. Chris, you can take the floor with your hot and lock.
I'm going to keep it quick because I know we got to get up out of here. But my hot for the week is the Chiefs are unraveling, so the Patriots going to beat them. That's my hot take for the week.
Ooh.
It's steaming hot. I couldn't even say it. I couldn't even say it. So, yeah, that's my hot. And you know what I'm doing, man? I'm doing what Danny did last week. I'm locking my boys against the Jaguars because we need it. I know it might sound like bad juju, but I believe in 8.
Knock on wood.
My boy comes. Oh wait, we found some wood.
Okay, so my lock for the week is going to be Rams over the Commanders. I think the Rams. Hey, you lose a real good game, you bounce back real quick. The Rams are the best 6-7 team in football, though, I must say. And then my hot take of the week, it's kind of like a rough slate for all that. I don't want to. Damn, Danny's was actually pretty good. I guess I could go with. I really don't know this slate. You know what? Let me get Titans over Texans. I'll take them riding the high. Will Levis has been on some baller stuff. So, yeah. And now we can get into Summit savings.
I got mine queued up. It's gonna be a
go
parlay,
ahead.
and you're gonna be like, 3 legs. Nah. So let's do a 2-touchdown score, 3-leg parlay, inspired by last night. Some guy cashed out $200 to like a lot of money from Saquon.
A lot of money, big if true.
To start, CMC is getting in the end zone 2 times against the Cardinals, almost free money. Then. A.J. Brown bounces back Monday night and gets 2 touchdowns in the end zone against Seattle Seahawks. And to end it off, Bijan Robinson, 2 touchdowns against the Atlanta Falcons, with the Atlanta Falcons against the Panthers. I just think they're going to bully them. I legitimately think the Falcons are just going to bully the hell out of the Panthers. The 3-leg parlay, I'll tell you what it cashes out in a few days because the lines aren't posted, but it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be crazy. So I do have mine. Mine is a 6-leg parlay. So I have the Chiefs -9 against the Patriots. Giants money line against the Saints. Jets +9 against the Dolphins. Chicago Bears money line against the Browns. Atlanta Falcons -3 against the Panthers. And then Packers money line against the Bucks. I don't know how much I'm putting down yet, so I can't tell you how much it cashes out to. But, yeah, that's my stuff. And then, Chris?
Yeah, y'all snap. I'm gonna make mine quick. I know you take a long time, but it's a 6-leg parlay, and I've been inspired by Danny anytime touchdowns. That's what it's gonna be. So we got a gritty game. Chase against Jettas. They're both scoring anytime touchdown. You get it? Gritty game. And then you got
Wait,
The hell out.
is that tentative? Because Jettas might not play.
if Jettas doesn't play, I'm gonna cry. Better.
If he
He
plays
better.
though.
And they got to gritty together at some point. So Chase and Jettas anytime touchdown. Saquon anytime touchdown. David and Njoku anytime touchdown.
2. No, I'm kidding.
Mike Evans anytime touchdown because he did not get in there last week. And Danny, man, you got the same brain because I got Bijan anytime touchdown as well.
All right. Well, those are the Summit savings. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe. We finally got to 200 subs, so thank you guys so much for that. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, make sure you like, 5-star rating, leave a download. Anything to say before we get on out of here, guys? You already got the Hot Lock Summit savings
Thank
all wrapped
y'all
up.
for 200 subs. Yay.
Yes, thank
Thank
y'all
you
so
so
much.
We're
been a
growing.
long time.
Yeah, that's all that matters. We're going to 2024 a lot better than 2023 when we're going into
Exactly.
it. And we're
Come on,
continuing to grow.
rent is due every day. And I don't
Yeah,
plan on missing a payment.
I'm looking forward to another Thursday Night Football of
Stink mess.
not great football.
Just let Max Duggan play. You might as well.
Easton Stick versus the legend of Aiden O'Connell. Good luck.
That baller in my opinion. But from AP, what am I again? AP New Freezer, I guess. AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, and DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.